This story is not just about learning English. It is about building confidence, improving communication, and gaining respect in every conversation. Whether you are a student, a professional, or someone who wants to grow personally, these tips will help you speak clearly, confidently, and politely. Many English learners make the mistake of thinking that perfect grammar or complicated words create respect. The truth is very different. Respect comes from the way you speak, the way you listen, your tone, body language, confidence, and kindness. In this video, we will follow a complete journey from nervous, shy speaking to strong, confident, and respectful communication. You will learn practical exercises, easy English phrases, and real-life stories that show the difference between being ignored and being heard. By the end of this video, you will not only improve your English, but you will also discover how to communicate with authority, earn trust, and leave a lasting impression on anyone you meet. Let's begin our journey and unlock the secrets to speaking so people respect you. Have you ever spoken in front of people and felt invisible? Maybe you said something, but no one really listened. Your words floated in the air, but they carried no weight. People looked away, checked their phones, or started another conversation. That moment feels heavy. It makes you think, maybe my voice does not matter. Maybe I am not strong enough. Now imagine another scene. A different person enters the same room. This person speaks calmly, slowly, and clearly. The words are simple, but every head turns. People listen. People respect. Even though the sentences are not perfect, even though the accent is different, the voice has power. This person leaves the room, and others say, "That was impressive. I respect the way they spoke." These two stories may sound far apart, but they often happen in the same world, sometimes in the same classroom, the same office, or the same home. The difference is not magic. The difference is not a perfect English score. The difference is how you speak, how you carry yourself, and how you make people feel when your voice rises in the air. Let me take you to a real story of two students. The first was a shy boy. He always sat in the back of the class. He knew the answers, but when the teacher asked a question, his voice was small and shaky. He spoke fast, looking down, hoping the moment would end quickly. Other students did not take his words seriously. Even when he had great ideas, no one noticed. He felt ignored, like a shadow in the room. The second student was different. She was not the smartest. Her grammar was not always correct. She sometimes searched for the right word. But she stood tall, looked at people's faces, and spoke slowly. She used simple words, but her voice was steady. When she spoke, people stopped and listened. The teacher smiled. The students nodded. She earned respect, not because her English was perfect, but because her presence was strong. Do you see the contrast? One voice fades away. The other voice commands attention. Respect is not about volume. Respect is not about perfection. Respect is about confidence, clarity, and presence. This is the truth I want you to carry today. You do not need to be a perfect English speaker to be respected. You need to speak in a way that makes people feel your confidence and trust your voice. Why does this matter so much? Because how people listen to you shapes your life. If people respect your words, they respect your ideas. If people respect your ideas, they open doors for you. New jobs, new friends, new opportunities. But if people do not respect your words, even your best ideas can be lost. The way you speak can change your life. Think about history. Think about leaders, teachers, coaches, even friends who inspired you. Did they use complicated words? Did they always speak fast? No. They spoke in a way that touched the heart. They spoke so people believed them. That is the skill you will learn here. And here is the good news. This skill is not only for a few lucky people. This skill can be learned. Just like you learn English step by step, you can also learn to speak so people respect you. You can train your voice, your tone, your body, and your words. It takes practice, but it is possible for everyone, even you. Maybe today you feel like the shy student. Maybe you speak, but no one listens. Maybe you feel nervous when English words come out of your mouth. Maybe you worry about mistakes. That is normal. Everyone starts there. But by the end of this journey, you will have tools, lessons, and real steps to change that. In this video, I will show you how to slow down and speak with calm strength. Use simple words that everyone understands. Listen first, then speak with impact. Control your tone so your words sound powerful. Use body language that shows confidence. Speak with respect so respect comes back to you. Each lesson will be clear, simple, and full of examples. You will learn English while also learning life skills. You will hear stories that show the difference between weak speaking and strong speaking. You will practice small steps that build big confidence. This is not about changing who you are. It is about showing the best of who you already are. You already have a voice. You already have ideas, dreams, and thoughts that matter. The goal is to make people see that. The goal is to make your words shine so no one can ignore them. Let me remind you again, respect is not about shouting. It is not about long, complicated English. It is about presence. A calm person with simple words can earn more respect than a loud person with big words. Picture this. Two people enter a meeting. One speaks loudly with fancy vocabulary but talks over others, never listening. People roll their eyes. Another speaks calmly, uses simple words, listens first, then gives short but clear ideas. People nod. Who gets more respect? Always the second one. That is the power of respectful speaking. And you can learn it. Step by step, word by word, you will see the change. So, if you are ready to stop being invisible, if you are ready to speak and make people listen, if you are ready to earn instant respect with your voice, stay with me. This journey is for you. In the next part, we will begin with the biggest mistake most people make when they speak. Once you see this mistake, you will understand why people lose respect without even knowing it. And when you learn how to avoid it, you will already be on your way to speaking with power. The silent mistake. Speaking without respect. Many people think that respect comes only from what you say. They believe if they use strong words or speak for a long time, people will respect them. But here is the truth. Respect often disappears before the words even begin. It is not only what you say, it is how you say it. And this is where the silent mistake hides. Let's imagine a person in a conversation. He talks too much without pause. He interrupts others when they try to speak. His body language is closed, arms crossed, eyes looking down or sometimes rolling with impatience. His tone is sharp, like a knife. He thinks people will respect him because he speaks a lot. But in reality, people stop listening. They feel pushed, not respected. Instead of gaining power, he loses it. Now imagine another person in the same room. She does something different. She does not rush to speak first. She waits, listens, and then speaks with calm. Her body is open. Her eyes meet others with warmth. She uses pauses so her words feel steady. Her voice is not too loud, not too soft, but clear. Even when she says only a few sentences, people turn to listen. She is respected, not because she spoke the most, but because she spoke with respect. Do you see the contrast? One person uses too many words, but gains little respect. The other person uses fewer words, but gains strong respect. This is the silent mistake many people make. They think respect is about volume, speed, or control. In fact, respect begins before a single word. Let's look at some simple examples of bad speaking versus good speaking. Bad speaking. Listen, listen. You don't understand. No, I will tell you the right way. Good speaking. I understand your point. Let me share my idea. Maybe we can see it in another way. Bad speaking. Why are you always wrong? I told you before. Good speaking. I see your side. Let's try to fix it together. The words are simple, but the difference is big. One way makes people close their hearts. The other way makes people open their hearts. Respect grows when you choose the second way. And remember, respect begins even before words. Imagine two people walking into a meeting. One walks in with slouched shoulders, eyes looking at the floor, and sits in the back. When he speaks, his voice is rushed, and he avoids eye contact. His words may be smart, but people do not feel his strength. The other person walks in with straight posture. She smiles politely and looks at people's faces. When she speaks, her voice is calm and slow. She makes pauses. She shows she respects herself and the people around her. Instantly, people feel her presence. They respect her before she even finishes her first sentence. This is the power of body language, tone, and presence. Respect begins silently, with your body and your energy. I want you to think about your own life. Have you ever been in a situation where someone ignored your words? Did you feel small? Maybe it was not because your idea was bad. Maybe it was because of how it was delivered. And have you also seen someone else say something simple, yet everyone nodded and agreed? That person did not have magic. They simply avoided the silent mistake. If you change small things in how you speak, you can change how people see you. Straighten your back. Look people in the eyes. Use pauses. Lower your tone when you finish a sentence. Speak with respect in your heart, not just in your mouth. These are small changes, but they make people listen. Let's try a small exercise. Say these words quickly, without looking up. I think we should try something new. It sounds weak, right? Now say the same sentence slowly, with eye contact, and with a pause at the end. I think we should try something new. Do you hear the difference? The words are the same, but the feeling is different. The second way carries respect. Respect is not about pushing people down. Respect is about lifting yourself up while also lifting others. If you interrupt, shout, or look angry, people close their ears. If you listen, stay calm, and show respect, people open their ears. That is the secret. So, the next time you are in a classroom, a meeting, or even just talking with a friend, remember this. Respect starts before you open your mouth. Respect is in your eyes, your body, your pause, and your tone. And when you master this, your words become stronger, even if they are simple. Now that you know the silent mistake, speaking without respect, we can move to the first real step. Because once you avoid this mistake, you are ready to build respect with your voice. And the first key is something very simple, but very powerful: the speed of your words. Let's move to the next lesson: speaking slowly, not fast. Tip 1. Speak slowly, not fast. Have you ever listened to someone speaking so fast that you could not follow their words? You tried to understand, but the sentences came like a storm, one after another, and you felt lost. Speaking too fast is one of the easiest ways to lose respect. Why? Because fast speaking often sounds nervous, unclear, and weak. People think, this person is not confident. This person wants to finish quickly. When you rush, your words lose their power. Now imagine the opposite. A person speaks slowly, clearly, and with pauses. Their words are simple, but they sound strong. People have time to understand, time to think, time to feel. The room becomes quiet. Listeners respect the voice because it shows calm and confidence. Slow speaking equals strong speaking. Let me tell you a story to make this clear. A young man was going for a job interview. He prepared a lot. He had the right answers. He had the right experience. But when he entered the room, he felt nervous. His heart was fast, and his words were faster. He spoke quickly, jumping from one idea to another. Yes, I can do that. And I also worked in another place, and I think, yes, I am ready. The interviewers looked at him, but they were confused. His words were too many, too fast, without pause. They did not feel confidence. They felt fear. Now let's look at another person in the same situation. She also prepared for the interview. Her heart was nervous too. But when she started speaking, she remembered one rule: slow down. She answered calmly, yes, I have experience in this area. I worked on a project last year. It was successful. I believe I can do the same here. She used short sentences. She paused. Her tone was steady. The interviewers listened carefully. They respected her voice. Even though her English was not perfect, her calm speaking made her strong. Do you see the difference? Both had knowledge, both had skills, but one spoke too fast and lost respect. The other spoke slowly and earned respect. This is why speed matters so much. Fast speaking makes you look nervous. Slow speaking makes you look confident, and people respect confidence. Now let's look at some simple practice you can try. Take a short English sentence, like, I am happy to be here today. If you say it too fast, I am happy to be here today, it sounds weak. The words crash together. But if you slow down, it changes everything. Say it like this: I am happy to be here today. 3 small pauses. Same words, but they sound powerful. Let's try another one. I want to share my idea. Fast. I want to share my idea. Slow. I want to share my idea. Do you feel the difference? When you give space between your words, people have time to feel your idea. Respect grows in that space. Another practice. Read a simple text out loud. Choose a short paragraph in English. Read it slowly, with pauses after every 2 or 3 words. Record yourself. Then listen. If you hear calm, clear sentences, you are on the right path. If you hear rushed, messy words, slow down more. With practice, your natural speed will become strong and respectful. But maybe you think, if I speak slowly, people will get bored. No. People get bored when they cannot understand. People get interested when they can follow your words. Think of great leaders and teachers. They do not rush. They speak with pauses. They make people wait for the next word. That waiting creates power. Think about a teacher in class. One teacher speaks very fast. Today we are talking about this subject, and it's very important, so you must listen. Students stop paying attention. Another teacher says, "Today we are talking about this subject. It is very important. You must listen." The second teacher is clear. The students respect the voice. The message is strong. I want you to remember this rule. Slow equals strong. Fast equals weak. When you feel nervous, your mouth wants to run. But when you slow down, you show control. And people respect those who are in control of themselves. So next time you are in a meeting, in a classroom, or talking with friends, pay attention to your speed. If your heart beats fast, slow your words. If your tongue wants to rush, make a pause. Look at the faces in front of you. Speak slowly, and watch how they begin to respect you more. Respect does not come from rushing. Respect comes from calm presence. Even simple words can feel powerful when you give them space. Try it today. Say one sentence slowly, with pauses, and see how different people react. We have now learned how important speed is. Speaking slowly and clearly shows confidence. It makes people respect your voice. But words are not only about speed. The next secret is in the words you choose. Some people think long, difficult words make them sound smart, but the truth is different. Respect often comes from simple, strong words. After speed, the next key is the power of simple words. Tip 2. Use simple, strong words. Many English learners believe that respect comes from using big, complicated words. They think, if I use advanced vocabulary, people will see me as smart. But here's the truth. Complicated words often confuse people. They do not build respect. Respect grows when your words are clear, simple, and strong. Let's look at a contrast. Imagine someone standing up and saying, "I endeavor to commence my discourse regarding the significant implications of our collective endeavors." The sentence is long, heavy, and hard to follow. Most people will stop listening after the first few words. Now, imagine another person saying, "I want to start speaking about the work we do together." Simple, clear, strong. Everyone understands. The second person sounds more confident and more respectful. This is the power of simple words. They carry strength. They enter the heart directly. Let me tell you a story. In one company, there was a boss who loved big words. In every meeting, he used complicated phrases, synergistic optimization, multifaceted paradigms, leveraging holistic methodologies. The employees nodded politely, but inside, they felt confused. After the meeting, they whispered to each other, what did he even mean? They did not trust him. They felt distance, not respect. Then there was another leader in the same company. She spoke in a very different way. In the meeting, she said, "Let's work together. Let's find a simple solution. Let's move step by step." Her words were short, clear, and full of meaning. The employees understood. They felt included. They respected her. Do you see the difference? Complicated language created confusion. Simple words created trust. And respect always follows trust. Now let's look at some easy examples in English. Complicated. I wish to articulate my dissatisfaction regarding the current circumstances. Simple. I am not happy with this situation. Complicated. We must endeavor to ameliorate our performance metrics. Simple. We must work to do better. Complicated. Permit me to elucidate my perspective on this subject matter. Simple. Let me share my idea. The complicated sentences may sound impressive to the speaker, but they are heavy for the listener. The simple sentences are easy to understand, and they build respect. Remember, great leaders in history used simple words. Think of famous speeches that moved millions. They were not full of long, difficult vocabulary. They were full of clear, short sentences. Words like hope, freedom, peace, together. These are not advanced words, but they are powerful. So, how can you practice speaking with simple, strong words? Start with your daily conversations. Instead of trying to show your vocabulary, try to show your clarity. When someone asks how you are, you don't need to say, "I am experiencing a considerable degree of emotional satisfaction." Just say, "I am happy today." That is enough. Here's another practice. Write down one idea you want to share. Then rewrite it in the simplest way possible. For example, your first sentence may be, "I am attempting to identify potential opportunities for improvement in our current system." Rewrite it simply, "I am trying to find ways to make our system better." Both are correct English, but the second one is more powerful. Another exercise is to read out loud from children's books or simple articles. Children's books are full of short, clear sentences. By practicing with them, you will train your brain to love simple words. Now let's go back to the question of respect. Why do simple words create respect? Because when you speak simply, you make people feel comfortable. You include them. You do not try to push them away with difficult words. You show that your goal is not to impress, but to connect. And when people feel connection, they give you respect. Think again about the two leaders in the company. The first boss wanted to impress people. He thought big words would show power, but his people felt small, confused, and distant. Respect was lost. The second leader wanted to connect. She used words that everyone understood. Her people felt big, included, and clear. Respect was earned. This is the lesson. If you want respect, choose connection over complication. Choose clarity over confusion. Choose simple words. So, the next time you are in a conversation, remember this. When your brain wants to use a difficult word, ask yourself, is there a simple word for this? If yes, use the simple word. Your listeners will thank you. And do not be afraid to repeat simple words. You don't need to show a new vocabulary word every sentence. Respect does not come from variety. Respect comes from clarity. Let's try one last example together. Imagine you want to give advice to a friend. Complicated. You must implement a consistent strategy to achieve your objectives. Simple. You must keep going to reach your goal. Which advice will your friend respect more? Always the second. So, from today, I want you to remember this golden rule. Simple is strong. If you want people to listen and respect you, use words they can understand easily. We have now learned that speed and words work together. First, slow speaking makes you sound confident. Second, simple words make you sound clear. But words alone are not enough. Respect also grows from what you do before speaking, how you listen. Now, let's move to the next key. Listening before you speak. Tip 3. Listen before you speak. Respect in speaking does not only come from the words you say. It also comes from the way you listen. When you listen carefully to others, they feel valued. And when they feel valued, they respect you. Listening is like a mirror. If you give respect through listening, it comes back to you in the way people respond. Let's look at a contrast. Imagine someone who talks all the time. Every time another person opens their mouth, this person interrupts. They change the subject quickly to themselves. Oh, that happened to you? Well, let me tell you about me. They don't ask questions. They don't show interest. Soon, people feel ignored and stop sharing. They stop respecting the talker. Now imagine another person. They sit calmly. They let others finish their thoughts. They nod, keep eye contact, and sometimes say simple words like, "I see," "That's interesting," or "Tell me more." Then, when it is their turn to speak, they say something short and thoughtful. Everyone feels heard. Everyone feels respected. Naturally, respect goes back to the listener. This is the secret. Listening makes your voice stronger. When people know you listen, they will listen to you. Let me tell you a short story. Two friends often met for coffee after work. The first friend always talked about himself, his job, his problems, his dreams. He rarely asked about the other. Even when the second friend started to speak, he interrupted with, "Yes, but let me tell you what happened to me." Over time, the second friend felt tired. He respected the talker less and less. Now, imagine the second friend in another conversation, this time with someone else. In this conversation, he listened carefully. When the other person spoke, he nodded and said, "I understand." When they shared good news, he said, "That's great." When they shared worries, he said, "I see, that must be difficult." He asked small questions. What happened next? How did you feel? The other person felt happy and valued. They respected him deeply. Do you see the difference? Respect grows when you give space, not when you take it. So, how can you practice listening in English? The good news is that you don't need long, difficult phrases. Simple words are enough. Here are some useful phrases you can use while listening. I understand. That's interesting. Tell me more. Really? I see. That must be hard. That's great news. These short phrases show that you are paying attention. They are easy to remember, and they make the other person feel respected. Another important part of listening is your body language. Don't just listen with your ears, listen with your eyes and face. When someone is speaking, keep gentle eye contact. Nod sometimes to show you are following. Avoid looking at your phone or watch. Small things like this show big respect. Let's practice with an example. Imagine someone tells you, "I had a very long day at work. My boss gave me extra tasks, and I felt so tired." If you don't listen, you might quickly answer, "Oh, me too, I was tired." That answer moves the focus back to you. It shows you didn't really listen. Now imagine a different response. You look at them, nod, and say, "I understand. That must be hard." Maybe you also ask, "What did you do after work?" This shows respect. The other person feels safe and valued. Listening also makes your answers stronger. When you listen carefully, you can respond with more meaning. For example, if your friend says they are studying English for a big exam and you reply, "Good luck," that is nice, but general. If you really listened, you could say, "Good luck on your exam next week. You've been working hard." This answer shows you care. It creates deep respect. Now let's think about why many people struggle with listening. Often they are too busy preparing what they want to say next. They think, what will I answer? What story will I share? But when your mind is busy with your own words, you stop listening. Respect is lost. The secret is to pause. Give silence. Let the other person finish. Then, after a short pause, share your words. This pause makes your speech more powerful. Another exercise. When you have a conversation, try to listen 70% of the time and speak 30% of the time. This balance shows maturity and respect. It also helps you practice English naturally, because you learn new words and expressions from the other person. Listening does not mean you stay silent forever. It means you respect the other person's turn. And when your turn comes, people will listen more carefully because they trust that you also listened to them. Think again of the two friends. The one who always interrupted lost respect. The one who listened gained respect. Which friend do you want to be? So, from today, remember, respect begins with listening. Use small phrases like, I see, or tell me more. Keep good eye contact. Nod. Pause before speaking. These simple actions change everything. When you listen well, your voice becomes more powerful. People wait for your words because they know you listen to theirs. That is how respect is built. Now, we have seen how speed, words, and listening build respect. But there is still one more key: your tone. The way your voice sounds can change everything. So let's move forward. When you listen well, your voice becomes more powerful. Next, let's talk about tone. Tip 4. Control your tone and volume. Have you ever noticed that two people can say the exact same words, but one gets respect and the other does not? The difference is not always the words themselves. The difference is often the tone and volume of the voice. Tone is the way your voice sounds when you speak. Gentle or harsh, warm or cold, friendly or angry. Volume is how loud or quiet you speak. Together, they can create respect or destroy it. Let's begin with contrast. Imagine a manager who yells at his team. His voice is always loud, sharp, and full of anger. He says things like, "Why are you so slow? Sit down now." The words are strong, but the tone is harsh. People fear him, but they do not respect him. They avoid him whenever possible. They obey only because they must, not because they admire him. Now imagine another manager. This one speaks with a calm, steady voice. He does not shout, but he does not whisper either. When someone makes a mistake, he says, "Please be careful next time. Let's fix it together." When he gives instructions, he says, "Please have a seat, and let's discuss the plan." His words are simple, but his tone is kind and firm. His team feels safe with him. They respect him, not because of fear, but because of trust. Do you see the difference? A loud, harsh voice creates fear. A calm, steady voice creates respect. Let's look at some simple English examples. Say the sentence, "Sit down." If you shout it angrily, it sounds like, "Sit down." People feel small and disrespected. But if you say it with a warm tone, "Please have a seat," the meaning changes completely. The person feels respected, even though the message is almost the same. Another example. Imagine you are asking for help. If you use a cold voice, you might say, "Give me the book." That sounds rude. But if you use a kind tone, you can say, "Could you please give me the book?" The second version is softer, and people are more willing to help. This is the secret. Tone changes everything. It can make simple words sound rude, or make them sound respectful. Now let me share a story. In one office, there were two team leaders. The first leader often lost control of his tone. When things went wrong, he shouted, "This is terrible. You are not doing your job." His team worked in silence, but their hearts were heavy. They respected his position, but not him. The second leader in the same office used a different approach. When mistakes happened, he stayed calm. He said, "I understand mistakes happen. Let's fix this together." His voice was not weak. It was steady and clear. His team felt motivated to try harder because they respected him as a person. Over time, his team performed better than the first leader's team. Why? Because respect comes from tone, not from shouting. So, how can you practice your tone and volume in English? Here are a few simple steps. First, record yourself speaking. Choose a short English sentence like, "Good morning, how are you?" Say it once with a flat tone, then say it again with a warm, friendly tone. Play the recordings and listen. Can you hear the difference? Keep practicing until your tone sounds kind and confident. Second, practice volume control. Many learners either speak too quietly, so no one can hear them, or too loudly, so people feel uncomfortable. The key is balance. Imagine you are talking to a friend across a table, not too soft, not too loud. Practice reading a short text at this level. Third, add polite words to your sentences. Words like please, thank you, and excuse me can soften your tone naturally. For example, move your bag becomes, could you please move your bag? This small change in tone creates big respect. Also, remember that tone is connected to emotion. If you are angry, your tone becomes sharp. If you are nervous, your tone becomes shaky. That is normal, but you can control it with practice. Take a deep breath before speaking. Pause for a second, then speak slowly and clearly. This small habit can change your tone from nervous to confident. Here is a practice exercise. Stand in front of a mirror and say, "Please have a seat." First, say it loudly and harshly, as if you are angry. Notice how it feels. Then, say it calmly with a gentle smile. Notice how different it feels. Finally, record both versions and listen. Which version earns respect? You will hear it clearly. Let's also look at common mistakes. Some learners think speaking loudly shows confidence, but loudness without control can sound aggressive. Others think speaking very softly shows politeness. But if you are too quiet, people may not hear you, and they may ignore you. The truth is balance. Speak loud enough to be heard, but soft enough to be kind. Another mistake is using a flat, lifeless tone. For example, saying hello without energy sounds cold. Instead, add a little warmth. Hello. Small changes in tone bring big changes in respect. Remember, tone is not about perfect English. You don't need a big vocabulary to sound respectful. Even simple words like thank you or sorry become powerful when spoken with the right tone. Respect does not come from shouting. Respect does not come from silence. Respect comes from a voice that is calm, steady, and kind. So from today, listen to your own voice. Practice with recordings. Use polite words. Speak with balance, not too loud, not too soft. When you control your tone, you control how people see you. And this leads us to the next key, because your voice is not the only thing that speaks. Your body also speaks, even when your mouth is silent. The way you stand, the way you move, and the way you look at others also creates respect. So now, let's move forward. Tone matters, but your body also speaks. Let's see how body language earns respect. Tip 5. Strong body language. Respect is not only about the words you speak, it is also about the way you stand, the way you move, and the way you use your body. Before you even open your mouth, people already notice your body language. If your body shows weakness, people will not listen. But if your body shows strength, people will give you respect even before you say a word. Let's look at contrast. Imagine a speaker who walks to the front of a room. His shoulders are low, his head is down, his arms are crossed tightly. He avoids eye contact. When he speaks, his voice is soft, and he looks at the floor. What do people feel? They feel he is shy, nervous, and not confident. They do not give him much respect. Now imagine another speaker. She walks tall, with her back straight and her shoulders open. She smiles gently. She looks people in the eyes as she begins to speak. Her hands move naturally to show her ideas. She does not look down. She looks forward. What do people feel? They feel her strength and calm. They give her respect immediately. The words are important, yes, but the body makes the message stronger. This is the power of body language. It is like silent speaking. Even when you say nothing, your body is telling a story. Let me share a story. There was a young worker in a company. He was intelligent and hardworking, but people often ignored him in meetings. Why? Because his body language was weak. He sat with his back bent. He kept his arms crossed. When others spoke, he looked away. Even when he had good ideas, people did not pay attention. One day, a mentor gave him advice. Change your posture, and you will change how people see you. The worker started practicing. Every day he stood tall in front of the mirror, shoulders back, chin up. He practiced giving eye contact, not too long, but long enough to show he was present. He relaxed his arms and used his hands when explaining ideas. After a few weeks, he went to a meeting again. This time, he sat straight, his eyes steady, his hands open. When he spoke, people listened. They felt his confidence through his body language. From that day, his respect grew. Not because his words were different, but because his presence was different. So how can you practice strong body language? Here are simple steps. First, posture. Stand tall with your back straight and shoulders relaxed. Do not bend forward and do not cross your arms tightly. Imagine a string pulling you gently upward from the top of your head. This will make you look confident and open. Second, eye contact. Look at people when you speak. Not all the time. Too much eye contact can feel strange. But look into their eyes for a few seconds, then look away, then look back. This shows you are honest and present. If you avoid eyes completely, people think you are hiding something. Third, hand gestures. Do not hide your hands in your pockets. Do not keep them stiff at your sides. Use them naturally to explain your ideas. For example, open your hands when you welcome someone. Move your hands gently when you describe size or direction. But do not wave too much. Too many movements make you look nervous. Keep them calm and natural. Here is a simple exercise. Stand in front of a mirror. Practice saying, "Hello, nice to meet you." First, say it with bad body language. Look down, cross your arms, avoid the mirror. Notice how weak it feels. Then, say it again with strong body language. Stand tall, smile, look at the mirror as if it is a person. Notice how powerful it feels. The same words, but the body makes a huge difference. Another exercise. When you walk into a room, practice walking slowly and tall. Do not rush. Imagine you are bringing positive energy with you. People will notice your calm and confidence. Also remember, your face is part of your body language. A small smile can make people feel welcome. A serious but calm face can make people take you seriously, but a frown or a scared look can push people away. Practice smiling gently while speaking. Let's also look at common mistakes. Some people cross their arms all the time. This looks defensive, like they are closing themselves off. Try to keep your arms open or resting naturally. Some people always look down at the floor. This looks nervous. Practice lifting your chin and looking forward. Some people move their hands too much, like they are waving. This looks out of control. Keep your hands calm and let them support your words, not distract from them. Respect grows when body and words work together. If your words say confidence, but your body says fear, people will believe your body. If your words are simple, but your body is strong, people will believe your body. That is why body language is so important. Think of great leaders, teachers, or speakers you have seen. They stand tall. They look people in the eye. They move their hands with meaning. Their bodies send the message, I am confident and you can trust me. This is what earns them respect. So from now on, pay attention to your posture, your eyes, your hands, your face. Practice in the mirror. Practice when you talk with friends. Practice when you walk into a room. Small changes in body language can create big changes in respect. We have now learned that respect is not only about words, it is about presence. When your body shows strength, people listen more. When your body shows weakness, people ignore you. Strong body language makes your voice louder, even in silence. But there is one more secret, one that connects all the tips together. It is not only posture or tone or words. It is the feeling you carry inside yourself. That feeling is confidence. Without confidence, all the other tips lose power. With confidence, every word and every gesture shines. So now, let's learn the secret weapon, confidence. Tip 6. Speak with confidence, even if your English is not perfect. Many English learners worry too much about making mistakes. They think, if my English is not perfect, people will not respect me. But here is the truth. Respect does not come from perfect grammar or fancy words. Respect comes from confidence. How you speak matters more than whether your English is flawless. Let's look at a contrast. Imagine a shy learner. She knows English, but she is afraid to speak. Every sentence is carefully measured. She worries about grammar, pronunciation, and vocabulary. She speaks softly, barely making eye contact. Even when she has good ideas, people do not notice them. Her English is correct, but her lack of confidence hides her words. Now imagine another learner. He makes small mistakes in English. Sometimes he forgets a word. Sometimes he mispronounces something. But he speaks boldly. He stands tall, looks people in the eye, and shares his ideas clearly. People listen. They notice his ideas. They respect him. The mistakes do not matter. His confidence makes his words stronger than perfect grammar ever could. Let me tell you a story. A young man went to a job interview. He had studied English for years, but he was nervous. In the first few minutes, he stumbled on words. He said, I work in software. I make programs. It was not perfect English, but he spoke confidently. His voice was clear, steady, and polite. He looked at the interviewers. He smiled. He answered questions with calm. The interviewers noticed his confidence. By the end of the interview, they respected him. They offered him the job. His English was not perfect, but his confidence won the day. This story shows a powerful truth. People respect the courage to speak more than perfect English. Confidence makes your voice bigger, your words stronger, and your presence felt. So, how can you practice speaking with confidence? First, accept that mistakes are normal. Every English speaker makes mistakes. Even native speakers sometimes say the wrong word or forget grammar rules. Mistakes do not make you weak. They make you human. Second, practice speaking simple sentences boldly. Start with short phrases like, I want to try. I think this is good. Can I share my idea? Say them out loud. Speak slowly. Look at yourself in the mirror or record your voice. Even if the sentences are simple, your confident tone will make them powerful. Third, focus on your posture and body language while speaking. Stand tall. Look at people's eyes. Use calm hand gestures. Even if your English is not perfect, your body will signal confidence and people will listen. Here is another practice exercise. Take a sentence you want to say. For example, I like this project. Say it softly, almost whispering. Notice how weak it feels. Now say it clearly, with your chest open, a small smile, and a strong voice. I like this project. Even though it is the same sentence, the second version commands respect. Also, do not be afraid to pause. If you need time to think, take a small pause. People respect careful thinking. A short silence before speaking does not make you weak. It makes you strong. Let's contrast two situations. In a meeting, a learner says, I think, maybe, this is a good idea. The voice is soft, full of hesitation. People may not pay attention. Another learner says, I think this is a good idea. The sentence is short, the tone is clear, the posture is upright. Even if she makes a small mistake, people notice her idea and respect her confidence. Confidence is also about accepting yourself. Don't hide your accent. Don't hide your small errors. Speak with courage. When people see that you are brave enough to speak, they respect you. Confidence grows when you act, not when you wait. Another tip. Practice with friends or family. Share your thoughts in English every day. Even one sentence counts. Each time you speak confidently, you strengthen your voice and your respect. Over time, confidence becomes natural. Mistakes will feel smaller, and your words will shine. Think back to the interview story. The young man could have worried about every grammar mistake, but instead, he focused on confidence. He spoke boldly. He smiled. He listened. He made eye contact. He earned respect because he believed in his words. His imperfect English did not stop him. So remember this. Respect is not about perfection. It is about courage, clarity, and confidence. Speak boldly, even with small errors. Use simple sentences. Stand tall. Look people in the eyes. Speak slowly. Smile. Let your confidence shine, and people will notice. We have now learned that speed, words, listening, tone, body language, and confidence all work together to create respect. But there is one final element that makes respect complete: kindness in your words and actions. Respect grows even more when people feel your heart in what you say. Next, let's discover the final secret: speaking with kindness. Tip 7. Speak with respect to gain respect. Respect is a two-way street. If you want people to respect you, you must first show respect to them. Many people think respect comes only from position, power, or strong words. But the real secret is simple. Treat others well, and they will treat you well in return. Let's look at contrast. Imagine a speaker who insults people, criticizes them harshly, or pushes them down to feel superior. They might think they are strong, but the opposite happens. People avoid them. They listen reluctantly, if at all. No one wants to follow someone who puts others down. Harsh words create fear, not respect. Now imagine another speaker. This person speaks with care, lifts others up, and encourages them. They use polite words like, "Could you please share your idea?" or "Thank you for sharing." Even when correcting mistakes, they say, "I see what you mean." Let's try it this way together. People feel valued. They feel safe. And naturally, they respect this speaker. Let me tell you a story. In a company, there were two leaders. The first leader often criticized employees in front of others. He would say things like, "Why did you do it this way? This is not good enough." He wanted to show power, but his team felt small and insecure. They did not respect him. They obeyed, but only because they had to, not because they admired him. The second leader acted differently. When someone made a mistake, he said, "Thank you for trying. Let's see how we can make it better together." When a team member shared an idea, he responded, "That is interesting. Can you explain a bit more?" He spoke politely, used encouraging words, and treated everyone with respect. His team listened carefully, trusted him, and respected him deeply. His leadership became stronger not because of his position, but because of his respect for others. This is the golden rule. Respect is a circle. When you give respect, people give it back. When you insult or belittle, people close off and ignore you. You can practice this in simple English every day. Here are a few phrases that show respect and create a positive atmosphere. Could you please? Thank you for sharing. I appreciate your idea. I see what you mean. Let's work on this together. Excuse me, may I say something? Even these small phrases make a big difference. They show that you value the other person. They show that you are calm and kind. And kindness in your words creates respect automatically. Think about a conversation with a friend. You could say, "You always make mistakes. This is wrong." The friend feels criticized and will not respect you. Or you could say, "I see what you tried. Let's do it this way next time." The friend feels understood and respected and will listen to you in return. Simple changes in words and tone make a big difference. Respect is not weak. Some people think being polite is being soft. No. Being respectful shows strength. It shows control, self-awareness, and confidence. A person who can lift others up and speak kindly is always stronger than someone who shouts, insults, or criticizes. Here is another story. Two managers were asked to lead a team project. The first manager spoke sharply, criticized ideas, and always pushed his team. The team followed instructions, but was unhappy and unmotivated. The second manager spoke with respect, encouraged ideas, and thanked team members for their contributions. The team worked harder, shared more, and the project succeeded. Respect created a positive cycle. One respectful action led to another. Respect also builds trust. When people see that you are polite, calm, and considerate, they believe you are reliable. They know you will listen, help, and guide without putting them down. And trust is the foundation of lasting respect. Another tip: practice listening politely, as we learned earlier. Combine listening with respectful phrases. For example, if someone shares a problem, you can say, "I understand. Thank you for telling me. Let's think about it together." These words are simple, but they show care and respect. Also, notice your tone and body language when speaking respectfully. Smile gently, use calm gestures, and keep your voice steady. Words, tone, and body together create respect. If your words are polite, but your tone is harsh, the message is lost. If your tone is kind, but your body looks weak, the message is lost. Respect comes when all parts of your presence align. Remember this: respect is a choice. You can choose to speak sharply and lose trust, or you can choose to speak kindly and gain respect. Every conversation is an opportunity to practice. Every small, polite phrase builds the circle of respect. So, from today, pay attention to your words. Use phrases like please and thank you. Lift others up. Encourage them. Treat people the way you want to be treated. This simple habit will make your English conversation stronger, and it will make people listen to you and respect you more. We have now learned speed, words, listening, tone, body language, confidence, and kindness. Each tip builds on the last. Respect grows when all of them work together. And now, it is time to bring everything together and see how you can speak in a way that people instantly respect. Conclusion: we have now completed a full journey together. From the first mistakes many people make when speaking, to learning the secrets of confident, respectful communication, you now have a roadmap to speak so people instantly respect you. Think back to the shy student we started with, the one who always felt ignored in class, who whispered answers and avoided eye contact. Imagine how different life feels when that same person learns to speak slowly, choose simple words, listen carefully, control tone, use strong body language, and speak with confidence and kindness. The change is not small, it is transformative. Let me share a story of someone just like you. A young professional, new to his city and nervous about his English, often felt invisible in meetings. He had good ideas, but no one paid attention. He would rush through his sentences, use complicated words, interrupt others, and slouch in his chair. Respect was missing. People listened politely but did not engage with him. He felt frustrated. One day, he decided to try a new approach. First, he slowed down his speech. No more rushing through sentences, no more nervous stammering. He practiced simple English words, clear sentences that everyone could understand. He began to pause before answering, to choose clarity over complexity. Suddenly, his words carried more weight. People started listening. Next, he focused on listening. During conversations, he stopped planning what to say next and gave his full attention to others. He used small phrases like, "I see," and "That's interesting," and nodded naturally. People noticed. They felt respected. They started sharing more, trusting him more. He also worked on tone. No more harsh, rushed, or shaky voices. He practiced speaking steadily, firmly, and politely. Even small sentences sounded strong when his tone was calm. He added body language to match, shoulders back, head up, eye contact, hands relaxed and expressive. Respect began to flow naturally. Most importantly, he embraced confidence. He allowed himself to speak even when his English was not perfect. Mistakes no longer stopped him. Every word spoken with confidence gained attention, and he combined this with kindness, always lifting others up, using polite words, and encouraging people around him. Months later, this same professional walked into a meeting, and everything had changed. People listened to his ideas, asked for his opinions, and even sought his guidance. The transformation was not about perfect English. It was about presence, clarity, courage, and respect. What was once invisible had now become remarkable. Respect followed naturally because he had learned the complete formula: slow speech, simple words, listening, tone, body language, confidence, and kindness. And now it is your turn. You can follow the same steps. Start today, one small practice at a time. Speak slowly in your daily conversations. Choose clear and simple words. Listen more than you speak, using short phrases that show understanding. Practice your tone and volume, ensuring your voice is calm, firm, and kind. Stand tall, use open gestures, and make eye contact. Speak with confidence, even when your English is not perfect. And always give respect to others. Lift people up, encourage them, and use polite words. Practice makes progress. You do not need to master everything at once. Start with one step. Maybe today, focus on slowing your speech. Tomorrow, practice listening carefully. Each step builds on the last. Over time, these habits will combine into a natural, powerful way of speaking. And every time you practice, your English improves and your voice grows stronger. People will notice. People will listen. People will respect you. Remember, respect is a circle. When you give respect, it comes back. When your words, tone, body, and presence show care, confidence, and kindness, people respond in kind. Your English becomes more than a skill. It becomes a tool to connect, inspire, and lead. So here is my call to action for you. Start speaking today. Practice with friends, family, or even alone. Record your voice. Watch yourself in the mirror. Take small steps each day to speak slowly, clearly, confidently, and respectfully. And subscribe to this channel to continue practicing with us. Together, we will take your English and your communication skills to the next level. Every video, every tip, every exercise will help you step into a life where your voice earns respect everywhere you go. Always remember this final, uplifting truth. Your voice matters. Speak so people listen. Speak so people respect you. The journey may seem long, but every small practice builds a stronger, more confident, and more respected you. Each time you speak with clarity, kindness, and confidence, you are creating opportunities, building connections, and stepping closer to the life you want. Respect is not given by perfection. It is earned by presence. By following these steps, you can transform how people see you, how people hear you, and most importantly, how you see yourself. Speak with courage. Speak with kindness, and speak with clarity. You have the power to change every conversation, every meeting, and every interaction with the way you present your words and yourself. Your voice is your tool. Your presence is your strength. Use both wisely. And from today, speak in a way that commands respect, builds trust, and opens doors. The shy student, the nervous worker, the hesitant learner, All of them can become someone people notice, listen to, and respect. And that someone can be you. So take action now. Practice daily. Apply each tip. Speak slowly. Use simple words. Listen carefully. Control your tone. Use strong body language. Embrace confidence, and always show respect. With patience and persistence, your words will carry weight. Your voice will carry power. And respect will follow naturally, every single time. Subscribe, practice with us, and step into a life where your voice earns respect everywhere you go. Your voice matters. Speak so people listen. Speak so people respect you. Thank you for watching this video on how to speak so people instantly respect you. Remember, this story is not just for English practice. It is a complete guide to improving your communication, confidence, and life skills. Speaking slowly, using simple words, listening carefully, controlling your tone, using strong body language, embracing confidence, and showing respect are all steps that transform not only your English, but how people see you. Think about the shy student or nervous worker we shared in this story. They went from being ignored to being noticed, listened to, and respected, all by practicing these simple steps. You can do the same. Start today by speaking clearly in your daily conversations, practicing polite phrases, and observing your body language.